In this tutorial, we'll be looking at straight line graphs, in particular drawing a straight line graph once you have been given an equation of the form y equals mx plus c. So let's take a look at our equation over here. It says y equals negative 7 over 5x minus 3. So first thing to do is to identify the different parts of the equation. So over here, minus 3, that term equals the y-intercept. Over here we have x and y, so x and y are points on the axes. And the other term that we have is minus 7 over 5, and that will be our slope. The slope is always positioned in these kinds of equations that we're looking at the moment, these basic equations, immediately before the x. So let's have a look. If we have y equals minus 7 over 5x minus 3, the easiest place to find and the easiest place to start is on the y-axis at the y-intercept. And the y-intercept is here at minus 3. That's where we can start. And from there, all I have to do is to work out the slope. Now, because it's minus 7 over 5, I can drop this minus down here to make it minus 5, and the 7 can be a positive. That way, this minus 3 point here on the x-axis becomes our bottom point, and then I can just count minus 5, which is to the left. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, and then positive 7, which is up. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, and that is my other point. All I have to do now is join this point and this point with a straight line. So I'll do that now, from here to here, and we should make our graph lines go the entire length or the entire span of the grid that we're using. And there we go, that example is done. Let's take a look at another equation. We have here y equals a fifth x minus 2, 1 over 5x minus 2. So minus 2 here, that's going to be our y-intercept. And here is our slope. So very quickly, nice and easy, plot the y-intercept at minus 2. So that's on the y-axis. So minus 2 is here. I'll use minus 2 as my starting point, as the bottom point that I'm going to use in my graph. And everything's positive here, so it makes it easy. So I just have to go 5 along the x-axis, that's this denominator here. So positive 5 goes to the right, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, and up 1. And here is the other point that I need to join. Now all I have to do is join those 2 points with a straight line. And make sure my graph goes the entire width of the grid. And there you go. That one is now done. In this example, we have an equation y equals minus x plus 3. So what that really means is y equals minus 1x plus 3. There's a hidden 1 here. If you can't see a number before a letter, it normally means when you're doing algebra, there is an invisible 1 there. So if I identify this part, this is going to be the y-intercept. So y-intercept is going to be plus 3, and the slope is here at minus 1. So let's plot the y-intercept. Positive 3 is here, so this is the y-intercept. And from here, we should be able to work out our slope. Now I'm going to turn minus 1 into a fraction. So minus 1, or 1 as a fraction, would be minus 1 over 1. Okay, and that would make this, I'll drop this minus to here. So the whole thing is minus 1 over 1. And I'll take this minus down here even to make it minus 1. And so from here, all I need to do is start with minus 1. That's 1 step to the left, and then positive 1, 1 step up. Okay, and then all I need to do now is draw the graph. So I grab that, join these 2 points. The graph is pretty much done. Make sure the graph goes across the entire grid, and job done. One final example, we've got here an equation y equals 4x minus 4. So I'll just rewrite that here. Y equals 4x minus 4. Great. So here we have our y-intercept. And here we have our slope. And I'm just going to rename the slope as 4 over 1. So it's a fraction, because a whole number over 1 because when you write a whole number as a fraction, it goes over 1. Okay, so I'm going to be using this. So the whole equation that I'll be using is y equals 4 over 1x minus 4. And I'm going to plot the y-intercept right now here at minus 4. Now this slope can be interpreted as 1. So 1 is a positive 1, so I go to the right one step, and then 4 up. 1, 2, 3, 4 goes here. All I need to do now is draw the graph line. Starts here and goes up. Make sure the graph goes the entire length of the grid, and that is complete.